Hello, this is Arthur Nix with EWKS, and I'm a heavy bid contract trainer. And I've been doing this for, I think I'm on my 23rd year. And today I'm going to talk about parent child bid items. I don't think this video is on the Academy, the HCSS Academy. I would certainly recommend the Academy, has lots of videos, but this particular subject I could not find and it needs to be covered. So I'm going to cover it in this presentation. My contact information is in the lower left. There's my blog site also that you could access over 10 years of posts that I've done on HeavyBid and subjects on estimating in general that you might find useful. A good source of information on this subject can be found in the help. And I'm going to go up to help up here in HeavyBid. And I want to go to the classic help, which is a lot of deep information on HeavyBid. It's not updated anymore, but you'll find that if you go out to the HeavyBid on the web, that it's very cryptic type information. Doesn't go that deep. It's okay, but the classic help goes much deeper. So this is a good source of information if you have not tried this before. I'm going to click that. I'm going to, and you can do this too. And then I'm going to go to the search and I'm going to type in parent. All right. And then we come up with parent and child bid items. You notice here that it says Advanced Plus, which means that this feature is only available in the advanced and comprehensive versions. All right. So first of all, it covers why you would want to maybe use parent-child relationships. And you can see here that it says for very large and complex jobs, it might be useful to nest bid items inside of bid items. So for instance, if you have a lot of activities, there's no way to subtotal activities. Okay, you can't put subtotals for activities. So what you want to do is divide up the bid item into child bid items. Now, that's not just one level of child bid items. You can go up to 9 levels. I don't know why you would want to go that deep. I've gone down as much as 3 or 4 levels, sometimes on joint venture bids. But many times, probably 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's just going to be one parent and one child. Okay, so here they give an example where the bid item is pipe and inlets, kind of a broad subject right here. And then you could divide it up how you would normally see it. You know, you have your 24-inch, your 30-inch, your inlets. All these are child items that roll up to the parent item here. Again, they give some more information. Reasons the bid item is such a massive scope that it must be broken down into smaller items to properly analyze it. This is probably the major reason right here. You might want to include alternate methods. So what you could do is the parent, you would have the parent, then you would have some alternates here that could be turned on and off within the, and the good thing about that is you could turn the whole, each one of these bid items could have 50 activities that could be turned off all at one time for, alternate methods. And then you got same thing. You're not sure whether work's going to be work or if it's a sub, and you could make that as an alternate sub item. Now we also have the self-perform versus sub feature, and then the bid item is a lump sum. So the first reason and the last reason are probably the two main ones right here that I see. So you might have pipes and inlets as lump sum, or maybe paving's lump sum, but you want to see the cost in the total cost in a cost per square yard, a cost per ton. So in that case, you would have only probably one child, but then you can, it rolls up to the lump sum. So I would say the first one and the last one there are the major reasons that we would want to subdivide a bid item. Okay, terminology. A parent item can contain multiple bid items, okay? But a parent item cannot contain activities. So if you try to subdivide a parent item, and I'll show you how you could indicate a parent item. If you try to put activities on a parent item, it will not allow you to do that. You'll get an error statement saying, hey, you cannot subdivide a bid item with activities. Now, we can now do something I'll show you later in HeavyBid where if it has activities, I can make it a parent and it's going to roll the activities down to the first child. All right. A child could contain either activities or bid items, but not both. So you could have like you could have a parent and then a sub parent. That's what they're referring to. And then child items are not included on bid forms. Now, so if you go out and print out like a customized bid form or a Word bid form, inside a HeavyBid, that does not go out. It does not. It would just show the top parent. But with that said, I can now, and I'll show that, get prices at the first level child. All right, just some best practices. You don't want to. You want to allow yourself room in there. So a lot of times on like big joint venture bids, we'll number by thousands. So we leave plenty of room in between because, for instance, you don't want to do this where you have the parent as 35 and then 351, 352, 353. That's one thing is it messes up the reporting because it'll push these down. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is leave yourself plenty of room, 35 and then 40, 50, 60, 70. Most people, what they do is they have, let's say this is bid item 40, and then the child bid item be 41, 42, 43. Usually that leaves you enough. Okay. Like I said, if not, then you will number by 100. All right. And then setting up child bid items. We're going to cover that in a minute. We're basically setting up relationships here. And we can also, what's nice about this too, is if you copy a parent item from another estimate or the same estimate, it will allow you to copy everything all the way, so you can just copy the parent and it will copy all the children also. So pretty cool. And we're going to cover the other ways to set up a parent-child relationship inside a HeavyBid, even though this particular help screen does not have that. All right, because the newest way, which we right-click inside of the tree view, this was after this, this help right here. All right, so this particular in the help. The classic help would not cover that because it was before this feature was included. All right, so let's get inside and HeavyBid, and we're going to look at the different ways of creating parent-child relationships. Let's start with the basics, and then we'll roll into some other ways of how we can create this parent-child relationship. And so here I am in bid item setup. I've set up 4 bid items here. I set up the parent right here. This is the parent. So we have on this estimate a bridge. All right, just that's all it is, one lump sum bridge. But then you're going to want to break it out into how you want to, cost it, and break it out into the piling, the substructure, the superstructure, maybe approaches. All those things will roll up into this parent right here, which is bridge. All right, so I go to the other tab, and then I come down here to bridge. And then to make it a parent, all I got to do is check the box like that. Now, underneath that, I have the children. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but you do not check the box unless I'm going to make the piling a subparent, okay, a parent again, all right, and then I would put children underneath that. So that would be the only reason that would be checked right there. All right, and then what I would do is I would come over here and I type in 220, 220, and 220. All right, so I have set up the relationship right there. These will roll up to 220. I come over here to the tree view. I come down. You can see that it's white, the icon. So they have every time, depending on the level, this level will be white, and then you have the actual bid items underneath that. All right, now if I made the piling be also a parent, all right, so I would check that box. Let's see what happens. And I save that, and I come back to tree view. You can see it's still white, but now I have kind of a yellow colored, indicating that that is a parent item also. So I can now break the piling into bid items. Now, the only problem is I boxed myself in because I didn't leave myself room. That's not a good practice right there. So if my intentions were to do that, I would want to, I'd want to skip right here. All right. So obviously I didn't do that correctly if that was my intent. All right, let's go back to the bid items. I'm going to just uncheck that right there. All right, and let me show you another way. Let's say I'm going to take this out, make these. So now these are back to just regular bid items. I'm going to come here to quick parent-child relationships. Now this is under the other tab, quick parent-child relationships. So a lot of times what you can do is just import them in if you want to. You're not really sure yet what's going to be parent-child. And then you could come into here. There's my parent. And then what I could use is I could drag and drop like that, or I can just use my right key, then I go down and my right arrow key like that and set up the relationships that way. Now I could even again make these two be under. There you go. I've made these two under that one right there just by a simple right arrow click. Okay, I'm going to take it out right there. So this is the second way right here of creating that parent-child relationship right there. All right. Of course, I can also do this with the exchange when I set it up. And this is how normally I would do it if I'm going to set it up in Excel. I would come in here to the database, bid items, and if you look here, let's see if I can find it. There it is right there. Parent, what it's subdivided. Okay, so that would be a column, and then under the subdivided column, you'd have Y for yes or N for no, and the parent one, this column here, would have which parent that bid item reports to or is going to sum up to. So very easy to do in Excel. All right, let's go look at the other way now, which was introduced fairly recently. And, because before, I think maybe within the last 5 years, this was added. And it's pretty cool how this works. So let's say I want to subdivide clear and grub. I'm rocking along, and then I say, I want to go back and then further subdivide, or maybe excavation. Maybe excavation is a better one right here. And I'm going to further subdivide that. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to subdivide bid item first. Okay, I can't do this. I have to go subdivide bid item. Now it does have activities, but that's what this is going to do. And there we go. There's my takeoff quantity there. And I'm going to put in 51, and I'm going to say import fill. Okay, and I might have 10,000 cubic yards. Okay, and now as soon as I do that, it brings everything that you just saw it. You saw an action going on. and it's bringing all my activities down to 51. Now 52 might be export. All right, and they don't have to add up to the takeoff quantity. That's not a requirement. So let's just say this is 30,000 cubic yards. All right, and then maybe 53 is balance site. And underneath balance site, and that might be, that could be one lump sum. It doesn't have to be cubic yards. And so now underneath each one of these, I can have multiple activities, and I can then see, okay, how much is my import fill, my export, my balance site. Now, if I only have one activity for each one of those, I've kind of wasted effort here. There's no need to do it. All right, so I'm only assuming that I'm going to have multiple activities under each one of these bid items. Close that out. I come over here. You can see that's my parent. Now, the only one I have right there is, you can see that I have 3 activities right here. And then I could either go in and start copying these down or moving them, whatever I want to do. But that's the, pretty easy way. And a lot of times people will just wait and, they kind of find out, hey, maybe I want to go back and now make that a parent child. We used to have to then, we have to do a lot of temporary. We'd have to make a temporary bid item, move the activities there, then, check it off as a parent, then move them back. So now this is pretty cool. Right click and subdivide bid item. Now, once I've done that, and let's say I want to add some more children, I can just click this. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go and click on this right here, the actual parent right there. Add child items. And there we go, right there. All right. Don't click on the actual bid item, the child items, but click on the parent. And now I can go ahead and add another item. Let's say this is fine grade. There we go. So pretty cool how the programming team did this, and very useful, because a lot of times we as estimators, once we get into the estimate, we find out, we make the decision then, and we might already have activities going on that, hey, I want to further subdivide this so I get better information. All right, let's go look and see what this looks like now in the pricing screen. So I come over here to the stack of coins. I've already run the summary. I go here to my pricing right here. I'm only going to see the parent. All right. I'm not going to see the children at all. They only come up with the parent. You can go up here to there's the storm drainage item right there. And so that would be, and then if I print out any of the bid forms, I'm only going to see the top parent. Now, fairly recently in HCSS history, or HeavyBid history, maybe in the last 5 years, which is still fairly recently, they added the feature of pricing the first level child. All right. Now, I'm not going to see it in any of these reports up here. That's not going to show up here. So let's go ahead and let me show you what this looks like. I right click and I price child items right here. All right. And then let's go to the storm drainage item, which I've already done. Those are my storm drainage items. And you look right here, I got a prorated bid price. So my price right now is $64.26. In fact, let's do this. Let's make the drainage, we're going to unbalance it. Let's make it be $65. There you go. Now let's right click and let's price child items. All right, click on the storm drainage item, and you can see I got my 65 up there. There's my prorated there. All right, but here is my bid, my actual bid price. If I want to bid these, this would be what I would put it at. Now, I could one thing I could do is go ahead and prorate child prices right here. So this is the prorated. So this is as close as HeavyBid can get, and I got within $1.72. So what I would have to do is I would have to play with these to get it so that it's not, so it's closer than, and I'm not going to do it here. But you're going to get within, get pretty close to, or exactly, and you might not be able to get to it. It helps. The best way to have that happen is this is one lump sum up here. Then it's real easy. Okay, the prorating will work, and you'll get it right. So let's just restore it back to where it was, and so it's just telling you this is as close as it can get, which is $1.72. Now, how do I see this information right here? Right here in the lower right, export to Excel. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and hit export to Excel. All right, and then I'm going to click it. And there we go right there. Here, I'm going to go ahead and expand it. It says, warning, there's differences between the total price with at least one bid item. So that's a warning right there. There's the storm drainage, 164. There's the prices underneath it. Now, it doesn't tell me which one up here in the warning, so you'll just have to look. So that's pretty cool that I can still go out and develop a price. Even though it won't print out on the bid form, at least I can go in and develop the price. So I think that was pretty good, and I can see that in an Excel type format. You can see here I don't have prices for this one here or these, but you get the idea. All right, I'm not going to save that. But that just kind of gives you the rundown of the parent-child relationships. I think it's very useful, especially for private work. I see this a lot because you might be given a bid form, but it's very top or very high level. They don't break it down into the level that you want to see the cost in. So this allows you to organize the multiple activities into something that an estimator would want. All right. And then, you're just not going to have 50 activities under each bid item. So that's the purpose of the parent child. You notice in HeavyBid, there is no sub activity. I see new users wanting that. There is no sub activity. So the solution to that is parent child or parent, subparent, subparent, subparent children. You could go down to, I think you can go down as many levels as you want to, even though I see no reason to go beyond 3 or 4 levels. All right, well, that concludes this. This is Arthur Nix with EWKS. If you found this video useful, I would appreciate you hitting the like button so I know kind of what to focus on in my HeavyBid videos.